today. I'm unstoppable today. I did not have the rights to that song. That is Unstoppable by Sia. That is my theme for this new year. Unstoppable. That is my theme. Let me put these AirPods in my ear right now. But Unstoppable is my theme for this year. Welcome everyone. This is Dr. Nicole Arcady, your mental wellness expert, and this is 2023. We have entered into a whole new year. I can't believe how fast 2022 has gone by. I am starting out with my podcast show again. Some of you guys are watching me live on YouTube, or you may be catching me on Facebook, but I also have my podcast audio listeners. So I got to make sure that I am being very descriptive for those of you who are listening and not watching. And I'm just excited to get started back into, my podcast. As you see, I've changed the title. It was called Mental Wellness Mondays, but I figured, you know what? I don't want to have to just wait until a Monday to be able to drop this podcast. It is mental wellness for you, because it's so very important that my moms, we are focusing on our mental wellness. And I want to start this new year off just right. I am excited to be able to have a special guest with me. I'm going to be bringing her in a second, but I just wanted to come on first and just say, what's your theme for this year? What is your theme word for this year? Because mine is, as I said, unstoppable. That's my theme. That's my theme. Unstoppable. I don't know. Can you see these microphones for those of you who are watching? I'm trying to figure this out. Let me just say this. I have all these gadgets, all these things, and it just seems like I forgot how to use them all. It's been over a year since I have utilized and come on and did my podcast. And so I'm having like a brand new baby again, trying to figure out how to use all of my different gadgets and is it called gadgets? Not gadgets. It's called gadgets. But trying to figure it all out again. And so please forgive me as I, hey, by episode 5, 6, 7, I don't know, six times into this new year, I'll get it all together and all right. But I am going to go ahead and bring on with me our guest for today, Miss Tiffany Todd. Can we all say, woo?
Hi.
Oh, I am loving it. So we're going to talk about your artwork behind you, but I am just loving that artwork that you have behind you. So
thank you.
Before I even get into your beautiful artwork, let me just go ahead and just read you all her bio. So this is Tiffany Todd. She is a wife, a mother, a business owner. She has her own podcast show with her husband, Mike, called Damn We Grown. She has her own podcast, Be Fab with T Todd, that will make a comeback in 2023. So we'll make sure that she drops her information here so that you will all be able to access that as well. She started Honey Avocado, which is her business, a pre-dawn paint kit company. And I'm definitely going to be talking more about that because I utilize her services and will be using them again in this new year. Yes. After quitting her fashion industry job, it allowed her to be a full-time stay-at-home mom to her newborn baby girl. But not understanding what motherhood would entail and not having the reliable resources and dealing with suppressed childhood trauma, she fell into a depression and she lost herself. With growth and therapy, she was able to start living again. Part of her road to recovery included painting. And as a founder of Honey Avocado, Tiffany creates pre-dawn paint kits. She's going to talk more about what that is, that allows the painter to focus on the therapeutic process and pleasure of painting. She believes in wellness through creativity, which allows people to discover something new about themselves. She hopes to continue to inspire and encourage women to live their best life through her testimony. You can follow her journey. We're going to talk more about that a little bit later, where you can get more information about her. So welcome, Tiffany. Welcome. Thank you for coming on and being the first guest.
Thank you.
In 2023. I was about to say 2022. I have to get accustomed to saying 2023. That is something new. And so tell us a little bit. Well, let me back up. I am fortunate enough to have met Tiffany. I think it was over a year ago. I actually attended one of her wellness painting activities in the park, and
Mhm.
it was amazing. And I'm not a painter. By no stretch of the imagination am I a painter, am I an artist. My youngest son, he got that gift from his father, not from his mother. And so in it, when we painted, I really had him. Oh, and I don't even have it behind me. I should have had it here with me. Darn it, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at my painting right now, but I can't get up and try to go grab it. I'm looking at the painting
Mhm.
right now, but I actually did this painting and I was pleasantly surprised and amazed with how it came and it turned out. And I enjoyed myself so much. I invited Tiffany to actually host my mental wellness that I have for my mom's wellness. I can't even speak right now. Let me drink some tea real fast. Hold on, let me drink my tea. Mm. My mom's empowerment event, You Matter Too event that I put on annually. And so Tiffany was the guest host there, and the women, we just had a blast. It was so amazing. They all enjoyed the painting and just really enjoyed being in that moment. So, Tiffany, can you just tell us more about one you said, your journey and what is pre-dawn paint kits?
It's pre-drawn paint kits. So what I do is
Oh, I'm
I
so
will
sorry.
have.
I can't read. I said
Oh
dawn
no,
and it's drawn. Oh, that's
it's
why I heard that.
pre-drawn.
Okay.
No problem. No problem. So what I do is I'll draw an image on a canvas,
Mm-hmm.
and then my clients, they get to just enjoy the fun of painting. So
Mm-hmm.
whether that is just using my actual paints that I give to them and they
Mm-hmm.
follow the instructions, it's like paint by numbers,
Mm-hmm.
or they want to be more creative and start mixing colors and coming up with their own
Mm-hmm.
color combinations, they can do that. So I actually started this because of my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to paint one day, and I tried to draw my image, and she came out so like she didn't come out that great. And so I'm like, I really enjoy the process of painting. It was really therapeutic to me, but
Yes.
I couldn't draw out the image. And I
Okay.
want to be able to have these images to hang up in my house, like I have here,
Yes.
as you can see.
Beautiful behind
You can see
you.
some up
Yes.
there.
The
There's a
one on the
couple
top
more up
with the
there.
yellow sun behind. I'm looking at that
Yeah.
right now in my the
And
two
you painted
summer.
this one right here.
Yes,
You
summer and
painted
the one
summer.
below. Yes, I painted summer
Yeah, right.
and the one below her too.
Esme, yeah.
Yes.
So that was the whole, like, that's how I started Honey Avocado, was because I felt like, I mean, I'm starting to learn more about how art is therapeutic, and just
Yes.
being creative in general is very therapeutic. And I
Yes.
don't want people to feel hindered because they don't know how to draw, or they
Mhm.
don't know how to do something, and therefore they're like, oh, well, I'm not going to try that hobby. I'm not going to get
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
No, I'm hoping that with my paint kits that women can start there, and then maybe that will spark that creativity within them
Yeah.
to do something else that's more artistic and creative.
Mhm. No, I love that because you brought up a very good point, which because it was already pre-drawn, it's basically you just coloring inside the lines, but you're painting inside
Mhm.
the lines, and it took away a lot of the stress, right? I'm thinking, oh my God, I gotta try to draw it, and it's not gonna look exactly like the
Yeah.
person that I'm supposed to be following, the painter. And it took that all away. And at the end, we
Mhm.
had great masterpieces, and it
Yeah.
was, I mean, amazing. And it was so therapeutic, right? Because as a practitioner, so for those of you who are new, I am a licensed clinical social worker, which means I am a practitioner, mental health therapist. And art is very therapeutic. I actually
Mhm.
have my clients draw, right? That is something that I assign. That is a way to release stress. It releases tension. It
Mhm.
helps with depression. It helps with anxiety. It helps with
Yeah.
ADHD, ADD, like a
Yeah.
lot of different disorders. Art definitely does help with that mental wellness piece of it.
It does. It definitely does. And like I said, with my case, I prefer painting more than I like coloring. And I
Okay.
know, like, the coloring book, like, era, that was really, really strong. I would say probably like 5 years ago or so. It was
Okay.
like adult coloring books was
Yes.
coming around,
Yes.
but
Mhm.
I didn't really find myself enjoying that, especially with like the
Okay.
mandalas and all little
Oh
tiny
yeah.
images you have to
Yeah.
color.
Mhm.
That wasn't my thing. So yeah, I just found painting to be more therapeutic. And because I started doing this, I'm
Mhm.
venturing off into like trying to create other things as well that's
Mhm.
creative. for
Okay, so
women
that
to
opened
enjoy and men.
okay, so that opened up the avenue, the door, right, into to other
Yes.
aspects. And I love the fact that you said is
Mhm.
very true. The painting, it taps into our creative side, which is that spiritual wellness, right? Because we talk about mind,
Mhm.
body, and spirit. All three of those need to be connected in
Yeah.
order for us to actually have balance, right? And so
Mhm.
just that creativity part that you tap into, it can open up so many other things. That's the right side of our brain when we're talking about that creative
Mhm.
side. And when you
Yeah.
tap into that one little spot, that one spot, it can spark something else, right? And can lead to
Yes.
other things. And you would be amazed to see all the things you're able to do and how that actually, I can't say enough. It was just so relaxing to have, I think it was 26 women that we had this
We
year,
had a
right? Well,
lot. Yeah.
2022, I should say.
Mhm.
And everyone did the different things. Like one
Mhm.
lady, she changed the hair color that was supposed to be one color, she changed it to another color.
Mhm.
She added earrings onto her lady, you
Yeah.
know, and so they were able to be very
Yep.
creative.
And that's one thing that I really enjoy, especially when I get to see in person how the ladies are painting, even men, because I have men join in sometimes too. When I get
Mhm,
to see them create like their own images. So one lady had straight hair, and the image was supposed to be of a Latin woman
mhm,
with straight black hair.
mhm.
And one of the ladies, what she did is, she darkened the paint to
Mhm.
look more like her skin tone, a black woman, and she created like these gorgeous like curls instead of just
Wow.
painting it straight.
Okay.
So the image was a reflection of her, and it actually did look like an
Look
image
like
of
her.
herself that she was painting. Yeah. So I really
Wow.
enjoy that. I work with kids too, and to
Mhm,
see the kids, they will take they'll use the colors that I have and
mhm,
they'll mix the different colors and completely change what I have. So like for instance, I
mhm.
have her right here, Ember.
Can
And
you
you
can
see
you
like her
describe Amber a
colors.
little bit for those who are listening on the podcast? I know it's harder when
Oh,
it's
okay. I'm
visual
sorry. Yeah, you have the
audio.
podcast. Yes. So Ember is a silhouette photo. So it's a
Mhm,
woman with a turban, a black woman with
mhm.
this high turban. Think Erica Badu style turban. And she
Okay,
has
okay,
her
yeah.
hand up to her chin and
Mhm.
she's looking forward. So you see her from the
Okay,
side.
okay.
Now, the colors that I have are a beige background. Her
Mhm.
body color is like a chocolate hue, and the accessories are like of a golden yellow.
Okay.
So, what the kids will do, they will mix colors or ask me for, new colors, and
Uh-huh.
they'll paint the background hot pink and have the
Oh,
girl's color, her skin color to be whatever color they choose, and her turban's blue. Like, it releases something. So yes, if you're
okay.
not that creative to start off with, you can follow my instructions and just go
Yes.
step by step
Mhm.
until you can really tap into something that's going to like, just spark your mind. And then you're like, you
Yeah.
know what? No, I don't want her to have a turban. I want her hair to come out or something. And so you paint that
Okay.
instead of the turban, or you just choose whatever color you want for your
Okay.
liking. You may love bold colors. I know, Nicole, you love red.
Yes.
So, you might want to do more red in this painting versus the
Okay.
colors that I have. It's just all about your own creativity, what
I love it.
feels good within yourself
Mhm.
and what you want to experiment with when
Mhm.
you're being creative.
And you know what? I love that you just said that. And it's because I have always been a rule follower. So I was always a color inside the lines. I always traced my
Mhm.
drawings and then color because I loved coloring back in the day. We had coloring competitions and I was definitely not losing. But I love that you gave permission, telling people you can make it your own, however you want to do it. And if you think about when we were kids, our imagination was just limitless. And so I like how you
Yes.
said when children do it,
Mhm.
they will change the colors up. They don't even think that I have to stay with this same image that you gave.
Mhm.
Versus me, I'm like, okay, she said it's gold, so I need the gold and I got to paint it exactly this color. And so I'm glad you mentioned that you can make it your own because guess what? When we do this again, I'm gonna make it my own. So I'm gonna change it up a little
Good.
bit
Good.
so I can add my own little
Yeah.
flair to there. Ooh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, or you can like, you pick your image and you can think about what paint colors you want, and you can go
Mhm.
to any type of hobby store and pick out whatever colors you think you will want to paint instead of using my colors that I already
Okay.
had predetermined for you guys to use,
Okay.
and just make it your own. My daughter, she did a Christmas one. It was a
How old is your
Santa
daughter?
dubbing. My daughter's 9 now,
Mhm.
9 and a half actually. So we did a Christmas portrait of a dabbing Santa, like when Santa,
Oh, dab.
the
Oh, I like
dabbing,
that. Yeah.
yeah, when you go like that.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
was a Santa.
I love it.
And instead of coloring in the lines or painting within the lines,
Uh-huh.
what she did is she literally just she painted colored strips all up and down.
Oh,
So she didn't even you have to look
I
at the
love
photo
that.
to see the painting. You're like, oh, there's a Santa in the background because she had these just
I love
red,
it.
green, yellow, and I think even black. She just painted stripes all. And
I
that was just
love
what she
that.
wanted.
I
That
love
was what she
that.
wanted. And I encouraged her. I said, you know what? That's what you feel and that's how you want it.
Mhm.
Go ahead and do that.
I love that. Now, I want to ask you a little bit more about your story that you mentioned in here where you were working in the fashion industry. And it sounds like you decided to stay at home, once you had your
Mhm.
baby to become a stay at home mom. And how was that? And seeing how you went into some depression, how was that for you transitioning from being, full-time worker to then being
Mhm.
a full-time caregiver?
Well, I knew I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom just because my mother, who was my grandmother, by the way, she raised me. So my grandmother and my grandfather raised me.
Mhm.
So they raised me from the age of 3. So I've been with them ever since then.
Okay.
And mom never left. She was always at home taking care of me, everything. So I knew I wanted that for my child because I did like that experience.
Mhm.
Except when I was a teenager, but that's another story. But yeah, so I've always had the type of personality when I put my mind to something,
Mhm.
I want to do it, I want to complete it, I want to finish it. You
Mhm.
can't tell me I can't do something. You tell
Yes.
me that I'm gonna go to the back door, I'm gonna go through the window, whatever. I'm
Okay.
gonna get what I want.
Mhm.
So when my husband and I decided, just stay home. You can actually work on your business because he knew I always wanted to have my own boutique or clothing line.
Mhm.
We were like, okay, this is the perfect time for me to stay home. I did that. So within the first 3 months of me having my baby, I went full force learning everything about how to open up a business, got my business license,
Oh,
trying to
wow.
open up a website, all this. I was crazy. I was
Wow, all
really
of
crazy
that while you're a new mom.
while I was a new mom. And that is one
Wow.
of the biggest regrets that I personally feel like I
Mhm.
had, that I just wish I would have said, you know what, I'll do that, but let me have 6 months to a year with my daughter.
Yeah.
And I didn't know all the things that happen when you have a child.
Mhm.
Like I said, my grandmother, she raised me, so she's much older. So
Mhm.
she couldn't really come and help me with my daughter.
Mhm.
My birth mother wasn't around. My husband, he felt he had to work more hours to supplement,
Support you
our
guys.
lost income.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I was really lonely. And I didn't
Mhm.
realize that until I was really, really in my deep depression. I didn't even know I was depressed until my
Yeah,
mother-in-law told me.
and it
But
happens that
that
way.
yes, and it was a really hard transition because like I said, I'm the type of person, I start something, I want to finish it. And
Mhm.
dealing with the business side, I couldn't get a hold of it
Mhm.
because as soon as I got into my element, my creativity started to, spark. The
Yeah.
baby was crying. She needs to be
Yeah.
fed. I need to, pay attention to her, change her, feed her something.
Mhm.
So I just kept feeling defeated and knocked down,
Okay.
I couldn't accomplish anything.
Mhm.
So yeah, I spiraled into a deep depression without realizing it. And because we were on one income,
Mhm.
I sacrificed so much of myself because I thought that's what you're supposed to do. You're a new mom,
Yeah.
you're staying at home, you're on one income.
Yeah.
I was in the fashion industry. So, of course, I love clothes. I love doing my
Mhm.
hair. I always love being put together, but I completely cut all that out because I'm like,
Yeah.
we're on one income. I don't need to be out buying clothes, getting my hair done. So I was just
Mhm.
in yoga pants and my husband's t-shirts for about a
You're like,
good
"I'm
2 to
looking a
3
hot mess
years.
right now." Mhm.
Yes, I completely just let myself go, and seeing myself like that too just,
It
made me feel even worse.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and like you said, it could be a gradual process. You're not even aware of it, that you're
Mhm.
in a depression, and until someone points it out, And when
Yeah.
we don't, and people don't understand, just simply getting dressed in the morning, how that actually
Mhm.
helps your mental health.
Yeah.
Because when you're not dressed and you have pajamas on, or you may have your hair sloppy, whatever, and if that's a continuous thing, you start to feel down. You can feel the
Mhm.
difference versus if you actually take some time with our grooming. Something so simple
Mhm.
has a large impact on how we
Yes,
feel.
definitely. And I let that go because I'm in the house.
Yeah.
I'm taking my daughter to the park, and most of the time where we live, there's not that many young families at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at the park by myself with my daughter
Mm-hmm.
playing with her, or I would take her to
Okay.
the, story time, and there would be just a couple of kids there, so I wasn't getting any adult interaction. I wasn't
Mm,
getting any, like, I just didn't have the tribe that I have now, that I wish I had back then, that I
yeah.
have now. But I ended up going to therapy. I had my first therapist, which was great, but I needed something more. So I found um, one of my spiritual mothers, I call her, from my church.
Mm-hmm.
She does this program called Stars,
Mm,
and it's like a therapy session that was, like, I think for several weeks or so. And so we dig into, like, childhood traumas and all that. And I didn't realize all that stuff was there
mm-hmm.
until I had my daughter,
Okay.
because, like, I had the issue of abandonment by my mother,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm like, I was raised in a two-parent household. My
Yeah.
parents were good to me, but I still had that underlining foundation that I didn't
Yeah.
even know that I had, because
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to cover it up, and I've been so busy. That was, like,
You
the
didn't have
other
time to
thing.
focus on it. Yeah.
I didn't have
And your
time to
daughter
focus
triggered it.
on it because, type A personality, I'm striving to succeed. I want
Yeah.
to, I don't want to be a statistic, and I'm working
Yeah.
towards this, and I got, like, 2 degrees and all this stuff. So I was always busy. And once I became a mom and I'm sitting here in the house with
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do.
All this time, and guess what? All these buried and suppressed memories we're not even aware of,
Yes.
they now have time to come to the
Yes.
forefront and surface.
Exactly. So then I met with, like I said, my spiritual mother, and I went through this whole process with her, which was a really good
Sounds
awakening.
like group
That
therapy. Was it multiple
Yeah,
women?
no, it was just
Oh,
me
just
and
you.
her.
Oh,
She
okay.
she will do a group session too,
Okay.
but I
Okay.
did it one on one with
Okay. One on
her.
one. Okay.
So it was just very therapeutic, and that was my road to recovery. That was the
Okay.
start of my road to recovery, and I think that was like 2017. I can't really remember the year, but
Okay.
that was my road. Um, and then I started my own Instagram and my
Mhm.
podcast, calling
Mhm.
Becoming Fabulous with Todd. And with that, once I started getting better and I start realizing, like, I was suffering from childhood trauma, I
Mhm.
lost myself. I wanted to give my testimony to other women, so that
Yeah.
way, one, women who are in that exact moment where they're becoming a new mom, I wanted them to see, don't lose yourself. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're doing
Yes.
practicing self-care. Go to therapy. Women who want to become mothers, go to therapy, listen to
Yes.
my
Preventative
testimony.
services. Mhm.
Yes, don't fall in, don't go down the same road I went down. And then the third set of women I wanted to focus on were the women who were in the situation that I was in, where they were coming out of that
Okay.
journey. So I just think it's really important that we
I
tell
like
our
that.
stories, especially as
Mhm.
mothers, because I didn't know, and I thought I was the only one. I
Yes.
really thought, and
Yeah.
that made me feel even more depressed and more
Yeah.
sad, because I didn't
Yeah.
want to share my story with anyone, because I
Yeah.
felt like I was crazy. I was
Yeah.
going through this.
So what it
But then
added
the
was
more,
shame. It created this shame. So
yes.
then you became more quiet, and the more quiet you became,
Hmm.
you isolate yourself more because you felt like I'm the
Yes.
only one. No one will understand,
Yes.
and I don't want to be judged.
Exactly. And I think especially for Black women and
Mhm.
just women in general, like, we need to share our stories. My mom, even though she was a stay-at-home mom, she didn't tell me. She would always just say, "Oh, wait to have kids as long as you can." Okay, and I did that.
She didn't tell
I
you
got married.
why.
I did exactly. I
Yeah.
did everything by the book. I went to school. I dated my husband for a long time. We got married. We waited like 4 years before we had our daughter to make
Mhm.
sure our marriage was strong. and I was still depressed. Like, what is going, like, that made me
Yeah.
feel even
Yeah.
worse. Like, why
I
are you
followed the rules, but
depressed?
yeah, I followed everything they said to
Exactly.
do. Yeah, yeah, and I
So,
like
and that's
what.
because women aren't telling their stories.
Yes, I like what you said. It's very important that we do tell our story because it normalizes it for other people. It
Hmm.
helps other people because it brings self-awareness and awareness to, a
Exactly.
situation that is normal that women, not all women, but the majority of us will go through, because when you have a child, your hormones are all over the place, right? They
Yeah.
have to start to they're shifting, and you were producing for two and now you're only producing for one, so your body's trying to figure out what to do, and you have
Hmm.
all these different emotions that's going through your body, and if we're not talking about it, you feel like you're the only one,
Exactly.
and you don't
Yep.
want to. So like you said, it creates that shame and you don't want to talk about that, and that's
Hmm.
challenging, because I know I did experience that with my second birth, and I didn't know anything about it either. I had
Hmm.
no idea that I was suffering from. I really should have been in therapy had I known back then. It wasn't until I went back to work. One of my other coworkers had just had a baby also a week after me, and we were just talking, and she said, Nicole, that's not normal. I said, what's not normal? Because I wasn't bonding with my son. I didn't even want to be around him I had no idea. My husband picked up a lot of the slack, and I mean that's why they're still close to this day. But no one talked to us about these things. No one said, hey, this can happen. Hey, you may have postpartum depression. This is what it looks like. Hey, you may have these
Hmm.
types of feelings, right? Hey, you want to make sure. So I like how you said to normalize it, because you had mentioned how you sacrifice so much of yourself. And that is
Hmm.
often what happened with women, because we're socialized, right, to be caregivers. We're socialized to care for everyone else. We're not necessarily taught how to be kind and compassionate to
Yeah.
ourselves. And so when you become a new mom, it makes perfect sense that we'll sacrifice so much. You're like, well, I
Hmm.
don't have time to focus on me. I got to focus on the baby, the household, the husband,
Yep.
everything else, right? And then you add into the fact that you're staying at home. Even if you
Hmm.
wanted to stay at home and you were used to not being home, because then that also can create a sense of guilt, because now I'm not contributing. I don't want to ask for
Yeah.
something. I don't want to
Yep.
become an extra burden. I've been there too. So
Yep.
I give it to all my moms, particularly stay-at-home moms. I learned a long time ago I was a better mom, wife, and employee when I worked part-time. Like I couldn't do the
Mm.
full-time stay at home because I
Yeah.
was absolutely bonkers. That just
Yeah.
wasn't for me, and everyone's different, and it's okay. It's just realizing and recognizing what works for you and what doesn't.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, that's the main thing. You have to don't put yourself in a box.
I love it.
That's like the main thing, because had I realized what I
Mhm,
was going through, maybe I would have tried part-time work,
mhm,
or maybe even before I had my child,
mhm,
maybe I would have done more research on trying to formulate my tribe and,
mhm.
delegate responsibilities to people.
Yes.
Talk to my husband about what my expectations were for him.
Yes.
Because I don't think, of course, I knew he was going to be a good dad, but I didn't realize I would need for him to, I don't know, just wake up in the middle of the night and he go
And
take
help.
care of the baby.
Yes,
You
yes.
know,
Yeah,
if she needs to be changed, change her. She's,
yeah,
still fussy, then wake me
yeah,
up and I'll go nurse her or something. Like, I
yeah.
didn't know I needed those things, but this is why it's just so important that we discuss our stories. We discuss
Yes,
what we went through, especially being, of this generation. Cause I already
yeah,
know, like, I'm teaching my daughter things now,
yes, yes,
um,
yes.
because my mom just didn't teach me, and I know she didn't know to teach me,
Yeah.
like, even just going back to self-care, taking care of ourselves, like, I see my mom, she was always pulled together, she would
Mhm.
go get her nails done and stuff like that, but that's just more like the surface self-care.
Yes.
She
Mhm. I
never, and
remember.
she didn't teach me that by saying it, she taught me that by me seeing her
Yes,
do
you
it.
observed it.
Exactly. So, but she didn't teach me the internal self-care.
Mhm.
Like, your emotions matter,
Yeah,
and I mean, just a range of things, like, you're going to have to take time out for yourself. Don't feel
yeah,
bad if you need to leave your husband and your kids for a day to go spend time with your friends, or stuff like
yeah,
that. Like, I didn't get that.
yeah.
So I just want to make sure I'm teaching my daughter that, because I want her to, if she decides to have kids, I want her to have a really healthy relationship with herself internally during that period of time.
Yeah. I love that.
You know.
And so I'm just, has been so great. I'm going to just summarize what you've said for, you know, our women who are listening to this, and just these key points that you mentioned. I'm going to summarize what I heard you say. Was one, don't put yourself in a box, right? It's important to try different things. You don't just have to stay focused and fixated on one. It's only can be this way, right? I have to do it that, you know, look at other things that may work for you. And you said you have to have internal self-care. So yes, it's great to take care of the outer or physical, because that's important, but internal self-care, thinking about your emotions, talking about your emotions, your thoughts and how you're feeling. The other thing you said was 3, to delegate responsibilities. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say, you know what, I can't do all of this. And when you're asking for when you're talking about delegating responsibilities, a part of that, what you said was talk to about your expectations of your partner, what you need from them to assist you during that time. And one of the main important things you said was share and tell your story, so that other women can know that they're not alone and that it's okay. And it was something else you mentioned. You said in the beginning, I know it was about taking time to develop a tribe. So even before, and that's basically your support system, right? Developing and getting a support system and knowing that it's okay to take time out for yourself. And I love this last part. I'm going to summarize what you said is have a healthy relationship with yourself.
Yes.
I love having a healthy, okay, I know we're about to end, but what does that look like, right? If you have a healthy relationship, can you tell, you know, just for the listeners, can you describe what would that look like to have a healthy relationship with yourself?
Well, I'll just speak on myself because that's the only way I'll speak on myself about it. But what I've been doing to have a healthy relationship with myself is I realize I can't just go to therapy one time. Therapy is kind of like maintenance in a way. So there might be a season where, you know, you can feel within your spirit and within yourself, something ain't right. Let me go back to my therapist and talk it out. That's one. Second, move your body. And I know, Nicole, we talked about this because I just ran a half a marathon in November. Nicole was like, this ain't me. I'm not running.
I did.
But
I knew it. Yes.
But you did get your body moving. You joined a program where you're getting your workouts in. So exactly. Find what your body likes. It could be yoga. I'm not a yoga girl, but do yoga, go walking, go lift weights, go jogging, ride your bike. But I've been roller skating this year, you know, so do what feels good for your body. Yes. Eat as healthy as you can because it really does make a difference. Trust me. I was a coffee addict. I was drinking 3 to 4 cups of sugary Starbucks drinks a day, you know, or making them at home. Once I cut that out, slowly I cut it out and I got to the point where I stopped for 3 years, no coffee.
Wow.
I did feel better. I felt so much better. So definitely feed your body as healthy as you can, but don't feel bad.
Again. Yes, as healthy as you can. You didn't say as healthy as you can. I love that.
Do it as much as you can to be as healthy as you can. But then don't feel bad when you do have those days or even those weeks where you're just like, I just need a chocolate chip cookie every day before I go to bed. Yeah. Give yourself grace.
Yes, I love that. Give yourself grace.
So, yes, we have to give ourselves grace, and we just have to realize even if we fall off the wagon for whatever goal we set for ourselves, we always can get back on. And then we can learn and grow from that and realize, okay, why did I fall off the wagon this time? Oh, I didn't get enough sleep. I went to bed super early, so I have to wake up and drink that 2 cups of coffee. Okay, so tonight I'm going to try to get to bed a little bit earlier. You know, so you improve and you just keep it's a learning. You're going to keep
The
doing this until
process.
the day we pass away,
Yes.
and don't feel bad about it.
Yes. No, I love all of what you said is great. You gave some great examples of how you have a healthy relationship with yourself. And I love that eat as healthy as you can. And I would definitely say I can feel it when I, go on a cleanse and I'm eating healthy and I have decreased that sugar.
Yes.
You feel lighter, you have more energy. I
Hmm.
can tell when I'm eating too much sugar. I feel sluggish. I have
Hmm.
that brain fog. I can't think as
Yep.
clearly, right? But
Hmm.
and trust me, it's so difficult getting in that. I call it that sugar loop. I've never done
Yeah,
crack,
it's
but I'm
true.
telling you, baby, that sugar is
It's
like crack
addicting.
because it is
It's
very
very
addicting. When
addicting.
you eat some, you want some more,
Hmm.
and you find yourself because we love bubble gum in my house, like gumballs.
Hmm.
You eat a couple of those gumballs, oh, I want some more, and you're not even hungry,
Yep.
right? There's certain things,
Yep.
but I love what you said. Eat as healthy as you can, practicing self-awareness, being more reflective, and getting moving. Whatever
Hmm.
that looks like for
Yep.
you, right? So some of you may
Exactly.
love yoga, some may like to go on hikes, but I'm definitely going to have to take you up. And I want to get back into roller skating. I have never roller
Yes.
bladed because
I
I don't know
love
how to
it.
deal with the one. I don't know how to deal with the one
Yeah,
little
same here.
wheels on this. I need the four wheels,
Yeah.
two on each
Yeah,
side.
same here.
I need to get some new wheels because my friend, she orders real cool ones. So I definitely want to get into that.
Mhm.
But can you tell our listeners and our viewers where can they find you? One, I know, tell us more your podcast name, what's your handle for IG, what's your website, where can they find you if they wanted more information? And I will make sure to type that also for those of you who are viewing into our chat.
Okay. So if you want to purchase or look at any of the paint kits that I have, the pre-drawn paint kits, that's
Mhm.
located at honeyavocado.co.
Okay.
So not .com, but .co.
Okay.
So you can go there and it will take you, it'll tell the backstory about how Honey Avocado got started, and it will also take you to our store.
Okay.
So you can go there. But you can find me and follow me over on Instagram and TikTok at
Okay.
TTOD2. That's TEATODD, the number two. Once again, TEATODD, the number two.
I like that.
So I just post like my most rawest, just like everyday life content there.
Okay.
And I am looking to get back into getting my podcast going again because
Yes.
I've taken a hiatus, yeah,
Me too.
because you just get into life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My daughter got into so many activities and
Mm-hmm.
everything once the world opened back up from
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
So we got really sidetracked, but I'll keep you guys posted on that if you just go and follow my Instagram or my TikTok page.
I love that. She said tea. See my little teacup right here? I'm drinking. I love my tea. TEATODD 2
Yes.
at IG, right? So either way.
Yes.
So I
Hmm.
I love that. And definitely I have enjoyed having you on. As I mentioned to you
Thank
all
you.
earlier, Tiffany is actually going to be one of my featured presenters. I am having my 4th annual Moms Empowerment event, the You Matter 2 event. Yay! I know it's ahead of time, but it's the 30th of September, 2023.
Mhm.
It's on a
Mark
Saturday.
your
It's a one
calendars.
day. Mark your calendars. It's a one-day event, and she's going to be one of my featured panel guests there because she's actually going to be
Mhm.
facilitating the painting. So we're going to supply the painting, the paint, the painting, the materials, supplies, all of that.
Mhm.
It's going to be free. Free
Yep.
99. It's a free event. This time
Yes.
I'm excited because of the sponsors that I received, and I'll tell you guys more about that. So if you want to see more of Tiffany, make sure you sign up when you see the registration open. I know I'm giving you advance notice, but just letting you know I'm excited because it was such an
Same here.
amazing event when we had Tiffany there. And thank you so much for being so vulnerable, so open with sharing your story, with other
Yes.
moms to help us to know that they're not alone and it's okay not to be okay. And if you're not okay,
Mhm.
then you can do something about it, right? You don't just have to suffer
Yes.
in silence. And so I do want to just thank you again. Is there
Thank
any other thing you
you.
want to say before you leave?
Um, what you just said, I just wanted to let the ladies know this. I mean, I okay, how can I put this? I grew up with, old school moms. So it was don't tell my business, keep our business,
Mhm.
you always keep your
Mhm.
business to yourself. And that was part of the problem. So if you are kind of having that, that little monkey on your shoulder and your ear telling you that,
Yeah.
just realize your testimony can help somebody else, and
Yeah,
of course,
I love it.
be cautious in who you tell. Just don't go around
Yeah,
telling everybody your story,
yeah.
but
Have some
don't be
boundaries.
afraid. Do
Yes.
not be afraid, because had I been afraid, because I was afraid for a long time. I didn't want people to know my story
Yeah.
and my background. But once I actually told people, I started telling those that I was comfortable with. That's when I realized there's a lot more women who are out in the same position that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I also got to build the strong tribe of lovely ladies that I have today. That is just such a
Awesome.
huge blessing in my life because of it.
Yay. I mean, that's so awesome. I love what you said. And, one of the things that it tells us, scripture says we are overcome by the testimony of others. So hearing someone else go through something and seeing you on the other side of it helps to encourage and inspire someone else who may be struggling themselves and don't know what to say or do. So thank you
Yeah.
again. Once again, this is
Thank
Tiffany
you.
Todd. You can catch her at T Todd 2 if you want to follow her on IG. You can go to honeyavocado.co. That's .co if you want more information and to purchase some of her pre-drawn paintings. I keep wanting to say Dawn, but pre-drawn paintings. So thank you so much, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Well, that was Tiffany. I hope you guys all enjoyed listening to her story and just the information that she gave. And I'm excited for 2023. My word for this year is unstoppable. That's why you heard that song. Unstoppable is the word or the theme for me this year. So, everyone, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, as I say, fantabulous day, and that you enjoy all the rest of what's going to come your way, and that you are just, it's so important to know that your feelings and everything you're going through matter too. If you want more information, you're like, what, Dr. Nicole, how can I find out more about your books and some of the things that you've done? You can visit my website, which is drnicolearcady.com. drnicolearcady.com. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, because maybe you're listening on the podcast, go ahead and go onto YouTube. Same name, Dr. Nicole Arcady. You can find me that way. Maybe you want a little bit of inspiration, because I upload and I put in affirmations, inspirational, motivational items on my Instagram. Same name, Dr. Nicole Arcady. I try to keep it simple for everyone, so I'm easily able to be found. That's the way it is. So, all right, everyone, that is it for today. We have really enjoyed. As I said, I am back in full effect. I'm still not certain if I'm going to do it weekly like I was doing it. Probably will. I'll probably still do it weekly. I'll see. But when you see the notification go off for the podcast, just go ahead and click on that, right? So you can listen in and tune in. And if you have any type of topics that you want me to cover and discuss, go ahead and reach out and let me know. Send me that email, what is my email? Nicole, Nicole at arcadiewellness.com. So at ARKADIEWELLNESS.com. So Nicole at arcadiewellness.com. If you want to just give me some suggestions or of what some topics you think would be very beneficial for you to hear about and to learn about, or you want to be a guest on my show, just go ahead and reach out that way also. So, why is it so very important for me to talk about and for you to learn about mental wellness? Well, that's just simple, because you matter too. Take care for now. This is Dr. Nicole Arcady, your mental wellness expert. Ta-ta, my moms, and have a fabulous day.